Hey y'all, Melissa here at Twin Oaks Family Farm in rural Southeast Ohio, USA. It's Saturday, October 19th, 2024. Time for Saturday Show and Tell and Share. We've been doing this series here on our channel, Twin Oaks Farm Poultry. We are just a family of 5, average household, all of us working. Our kids are young adults, 17 to 21 years old, and we have a farm operation on the side. And our passion, one of our passions, is to encourage people to seek out local farmers, ranchers, and producers wherever you are and try to source some or a lot of your food from local sources, or to produce some of your own food if the resources that you have allow and if the season of life that you're in allows. But having this platform gives us the opportunity to show people how we have meat production chickens and how we raise those, and how we have egg production chickens and how we take care of them, all in hopes that seeing that will spark people to want to seek out a connection to where their food comes from. So not trying to direct people from all places in the world toward what we produce, but trying to direct people in all parts of the world to seek out the producers of the food where you live. And so most of our videos are about our chickens and the food production that we work toward with the meat birds and with the egg birds. But we also throw in videos that just have to do with various aspects of our life. So with that, we've started this and another series that we have kept up with here on our channel. This is the Saturday Show and Tell and Share. So we just show you something going on in our lives at the moment. And the Wednesdays, we have Watch It Later Wednesday. So I use the Watch Later feature on the YouTube app. And when I see a video that piques my interest, like don't have time to watch it right now, gonna watch later, throw it over on the list. So I don't want it to turn into a file 13 and it's just growing. But you know, the things that I put there are usually relevant to like our farm operation. You know, how can we do a better job raising the chickens that we raise? How can we do an even better job making the food that we make? Or they're relevant to home improvement, household planning, budget, food, wholesomeness of the food, eating well, things along those lines. So that's what's on the Watch Later list of mine, and that I try to pull from every week and tell y'all in a Watch It Later Wednesday video what I've watched and the channel it came from and my impression of it. So we have those 2 series ongoing. Going to try to keep them going through the end of 2024. Trying to work on a couple of new series to pursue in 2025 here on our YouTube channel. And we have channel memberships. So working on developing a series that is exclusive to one of those channel membership categories that we have. So if you're curious about the channel memberships, you actually can press the join prompt, scroll through the information, and it tells you about the membership options. And so we are new to that, and it takes time to get kind of a routine with it. A lot of things about working with social media platforms really are a learning curve. So we are on the learning curve with the memberships for sure. We're still on the learning curve with the YouTube channel, but definitely on a learning curve with the memberships, but working on a series that will be exclusive to the Chicken Mafia membership level for 2025. So hoping to get that in the works. I've got to show y'all one of my favorite little friends here. Hey Tanner, can I find you in the camera yet? Where you at? Tanner? Oh, so he's going elsewhere. Gus is over there. So what I want to show you today on Saturday Show and Tell and Share is something that I've been working on this afternoon, a little project, and want to tell you about it from the standpoint of encouraging you toward acts of generosity, however simple they may be, however humble they may be, however little we may be able to give. Giving enriches the recipient and the giver. One of the few things that enriches us when we give something away is just giving for the sake of giving. Charitable acts of generosity. So want to show you what I've been working on in order to talk about that, and to just tell you, hey, if something weighs on your heart, like I can do this, even though your brain may be screaming, it's a stretch, we're strapped, unexpected things are going to come up. We're barely holding the budget together as it is. We're barely keeping the household going as it is. More often than not, there's always a way to be able to give, to be able to give into the pull toward generosity. So want to talk about that, and also want to talk a little bit about connectedness. And I think the two things are really tandem, generosity and connectedness, and I think they're both a necessity in our lives. So in that regard, the connectedness, I want to tell you about one of the favorite activities, one of the favorite regular activities scheduled into my week that I've been doing, and would love to get your feedback on both of these concepts, the generosity, the connectedness. Would love to get your feedback in the comments. Are these things that you feel are abundant in your life? Are they things that you feel are lacking in your life? Are they things that you feel intentionality contributes toward achieving? So whatever your thoughts are on generosity and connectedness, and I want to just observe to you how I feel like they fit together. So this is the project I've been working on today, these little shoe boxes. So you've probably seen something like this, and I was actually going to get out some information on it. This is kind of like, I guess it's kind of like a shoebox ministry, and this one is by Cross Catholic Outreach, and it's called Box of Joy. But I've seen boxes similar to these that are called by a different name. So let me turn the camera back around a second. So this particular project is actually, I gotta stand back here when I'm out of the direct sunlight in my eyes. So this particular project is actually made available to us and our church community at our parish. And you're able to just get these boxes. They're at the parish, able to get the boxes, take them with you. You have like a set amount of time, and they ask you just to fill the boxes with something. It can be very simple. It doesn't have to cost a lot. Fill the boxes and also donate the money that it takes to ship the boxes to their destination. And then you bring it all back, and we just take it to church because that's where the project is being coordinated. And we just take it all back to church, and we take the boxes and we take the donation money separate, and that donation money is used for shipping to make sure these gifts end up where they're intended to go. So this particular one is called Box of Joy. It's the one that Cross Catholic Outreach does, but I think that different church denominations do it, and maybe the boxes just go by a different name. So we actually, I think we got these a couple weeks ago at church, and so we're asked to bring them back in by the 20th. So we're going to Mass this evening, so we'll actually take these back in with us this evening. So what I'm looking for here in my bag of stuff was the official literature. Here we go. Okay, so this is the official literature that came with the boxes from Cross Catholic Outreach. But it's nice because they also do like kind of a cheat sheet piece of paper that's printed where we can use this for all the important reminders. So things that we should not pack, things that are highly desired items, and a large list of things that we can use as suggestions, reference points for what to pack, basically the reminders and instructions here. And it also mentions that if you're so inclined, the children that receive these gifts love a Christmas card or a family photo, and to consider doing that. So basically what you do is you kind of fill it, and then you tell really who is this gift intended for, a boy or a girl, and what age group of boy or what age group of girl. So what I found interesting is that we actually only took 2 boxes from church. I think they're the 2 on top. So we actually only took 2 boxes from church, and we're just gonna fill 2 boxes. Well, this one, and this one. So we were just going to do 2 boxes, okay? And then I went to just like a general store that's a chain store that they have them all over the United States of America. They probably have them about one every 5 miles. They're probably that close together. And I got so much stuff that I overfilled. So 2 boxes wasn't enough. So y'all, I got to turn my camera around. So these are the cool things that happen. Okay. When you step out and you give, these are the cool things that happen. This project, some years we haven't done. This has been done at our church and by Cross Catholic Outreach a lot of years, I'm sure. But some years we have opted not to do this because fall was busy time of life for us, and we have a tendency to forget to make the deadline, and we know that this always has to be turned in by a certain deadline. So there have been years we don't take these. Well, this year I was like, okay, we're taking 2. This is manageable. We have 2 weeks to get this turned back in. Surely we can do this. And so, kind of pushed myself to go ahead and take responsibility for this within our household. But this is what happens when you stretch yourself and you put yourself out there and you give. So I, had fun getting this stuff. Probably amounted to about $60 retail value worth of stuff that I picked up at the general store and had here. And so I filled the 2 boxes, and I still had this stuff, and I assessed what I had, and I thought, well, I think I could split it up into like 3 more boxes. So I'll go back to the church, I'll see if there's any more boxes, and I'll get them and I'll bring them home and I'll fill them and I'll take them back in. And so I stepped into the vestibule at church there, and I had assessed that I had enough stuff for 3 more boxes. And I stepped in there, and on the table where they have the boxes available, there was exactly 3 boxes left available. So that's the kind of cool stuff that happens, like when you stretch a little bit and give. Things work out, right? So things work out. So anyway, so I did find some more boxes. So just give you like a gander at what's in them. So I'm kind of envisioning this one for a boy in the 5 to 9 years old. I don't know. I mean, you probably could do older. Maybe we should say boy 10 to 14. I don't know. We'll decide. I'll ask the fam. And then I'm going to say this one for a girl 5 to 9 years old. And then I had this little doll and dinosaurs. And so we're going to say a 2 to 4 year old. I'm gonna say girl for the ones with dolls. This one has just a dinosaur plush in it, so we're gonna say a boy, 2 to 4 years old. And this is another doll that has a little shirt and some socks in it. So those are styled for a little girl. So, and the shirt was like for toddler, and the socks are 2 to 14. So we're gonna say 2 to 4 year old girl on that one. So we've got them ready to go. So the only other important thing with this one is that we make sure we put the money with it to ship it. So this is their literature box of joy. It is something you could look up online if this is one you might be interested in contributing to. There's a little guy holding his box. Pretty cool. Okay, and so this gives you the steps, and this actually tells you how to do it, like if you have to do it online. So I was looking for, I read something earlier. Oh yeah. So simple steps: get a box, we did that. Choose and shop, we did that. Donate, which we're going to take care of that at church, and our church is going to help take care of getting the donations where they've got to go. And then drop off, so we'll drop them off tonight at church, and pray. And of course prayer is so important. Prayer is so important in every endeavor. I always think I probably have this saying backwards, but I think of this saying a lot. Work like it all depends on me, and pray like it all depends on God. And in the end, it does all depend on God. So we just, pray about it. Will those things go to a child that will enjoy them, that can use them? Just pray on it. Give it to God. Give it to God. He's going to go take care of it. So he's already ahead of us. He's already taken care of it. So anyway, so that charity in particular may not be in your area. Maybe you won't see that one. Maybe a charity like that, or maybe a charity totally different from that. But if you are led to give, follow the lead, because giving connects you to your community. Giving changes your perspective to acknowledge that there's so much need, and that as hard as situations sometimes seem, if we really look hard enough, there's probably somebody that has it harder than us, and sometimes as poor as we might feel, if we're honest, there's probably somebody a whole lot poorer than us. And if we're really honest, there's a lot of us rich in a lot of ways, and there's a lot of us richer than a lot of other people in a whole lot of ways. And so if we can give a little bit from the richness of that storehouse to somebody who has less or has experienced even more misfortune, it changes our perspective and it deepens our gratitude for what we do have. And giving enriches the giver. There's no way around it. Giving enriches the giver. So, to connect to your community, to change our perspective, to be enriched, those are all good things. Those are all positives. We need that in our lives. So giving in some way, some act of generosity, if you are presented with one and led to contribute to it, I hope you'll go for it. And like in this instance, this can kind of hurt the wallet a little bit. We probably have like $60 worth of stuff in the boxes. It's $9 a box to ship them. That's going to be a $45 contribution to cover the shipping for them. If it was a season of life where we can't do that, okay, let's take one box. Okay, can we take one box and fill it with $15 or $20 worth of stuff? If we did, $16 worth of stuff in the shipping, that's a $25 charitable contribution. Okay, are we in a season of life where that's too much? That's okay. Can we go ahead and do it? And can we be the medium, the conduit through which a good work gets done? Can we go ahead and take on that responsibility and go to a neighbor, go to an acquaintance, go to a friend and say, hey, I'm doing this thing. It's going to benefit this child that is going to get this gift. I can't afford to do it by myself. Will you help me? Will you help me? You would be shocked. You would be shocked. People will help you. If you go to somebody and you say, I want to do this good thing. I can't afford to do it. I'm given this amount. Can you give some? You would be absolutely shocked. People will help. People will help you. I can speak from experience because we have done something very similar that I've talked about in a different video, where we coordinated for a family of 5 that didn't have the spare in the budget. We coordinated a big fundraising project to raise $5,000 in 11 months. And basically that's what we did. We did projects and we went to our community and we said, we're doing this and here's what we can give and here's what we're making. Can you make a donation toward it? And you can pick from these things that we have, that we've made. You can pick from these things in a token of gratitude for what you're giving. So people will help you. So, if it's that season of life where I can't give this amount, but I want to do this, okay, can you coordinate a few people to do the thing that you want to do? It can happen. So those are the ways that we make good things happen. And see what happened, like even in that example, if I couldn't give by myself, I could connect with my community, I could change the perspective, and I can, enrich the other by giving, but in giving, we become enriched as well. So I want to encourage you to acts of charity. And I know times are tight, money's tight, times are tough, we're strapped, everybody's strapped. I get it. Prices are going up. I get all that. But remember what I said. We're so much richer than so many in so many ways. And the poor are always with us. And when we give, even when it's hard to give, but we give, we bear in mind and keep that perspective at the surface. Keep an awareness of that perspective, that there are devastatingly poor, and the poor are always with us. And we're always just one stroke of misfortune away from being the poor ourselves. But by the grace of God, there go I, So we got to remember that. We got to remember that too. But it is really enriching to give. So if you feel a charity on your heart, you're led to contribute toward it. It may seem impossible, but maybe give it some brainstorming. Maybe there's a way. Okay. So anyway, this is the one we're doing. So we've pretty much got it accomplished. I need to label the boxes and get our shipping donation together to cover it, and probably put a little note in there, and we'll have those ready to go. And so then the last thing I want to tell you about is a favorite activity of mine that we've been doing, and kind of did this to work on being intentionally focused on one-on-one connections within our household. So, if you're a household of one, it's very important to have connections beyond your household. But when you're a household of more than one, there seems to be, my observation, a tendency for everybody to have their schedules, especially when you have like young adult people that have driving responsibilities and driving abilities, and they're driving themselves. When that's the makeup of your household, there seems to be a tendency that you all have schedules, you all go your own ways, and you're crossing paths in the busy times, and so many times when we get to that stage of life, like the real connections of, hey, let's just slow down, let's just not be consumed by the schedule right now, let's just not be concerned about what the world is thinking right now, let's just connect, let's find some common ground and relax and let the conversation go where it will, and connect. And the thing about this is, especially where, like, the stage of life we're in now, where you're talking about middle-aged parents and young adult kids all living in the same household. We raised our kids, we spent a lot of time with our kids, a lot of activities with our kids, but we've known them all along, so we know them in all the stages, and we kind of have a default in our brains, I think, as just human nature, to kind of pick the point of life that we liked the best, or the stage of life for that individual child that we liked the best, and kind of freeze them in time there. And so it really is kind of a thing, like, as they're getting older, we need to kind of connect again, and we need to kind of come to the realization that they're becoming them, because for all these years that we've been raising them, they've kind of been living in our expectations. And then as they experience more independence, they're becoming them. We're going to see their persona really develop more and more and more. And so it's going to be less, what's my household's expectations, less and less. And it's going to be more and more, this is the person I am in the world, So what we've been doing, what I've been doing, and my husband spends time with the guys, on projects and things they're doing too. But I decided, hey, I'm going to make sure we set aside part of a Saturday every weekend, take turns with the guys, and we'll go do something. We'll agree on what we want to go do that day, or one of us will just go along with what the other wants to do that day, and it'll be, you mix it up, it's whatever it is. But take time, to just go spend some time together, and you really get to talk about things that don't come up in the busy time of the week when you're wore out, when you can just be kind of relaxed and go on an outing, or go on a couple errands even together, things you need to get done. You can kind of relax and have a conversation, and you kind of get to know who these people are now. And I can even see this applying, like, if you're a middle-aged person and you have the privilege of, like, providing the shelter for your aging parents, there's still that parent-child relationship, and it's still important to emphasize intention with connecting on a person-to-person level at where we are now, not how we remember the person 5 or 10 years ago, or not how we liked things in a past season of life. Where are we at now? Who are you now, and who am I now? And we connect there, So anyway, so we've been doing that, and it's just the best times. It's just the best times because, it's a new perspective on connectedness between people in the household, those one-on-one connections. So like I said, if you are household one, I guess this is kind of irrelevant for your experience, other than, you need connections regardless. So, connections beyond your household are very important. But when you're, multiple people in the household, it really is important to connect beyond just crossing paths on your busy schedule. And so, you know, intention. So I'm finding that it's very rewarding to approach that with a lot of intention. What do y'all think? Do you experience any of this in your own lives? Do you have a strategy for making things as positive as possible, cultivating peace? Let us know. Let us know. So wanted to show and tell and share with y'all those things going on. And we actually, with our farm, we did this last year, and trying to get organized to hopefully do it again. We'll do a charity chickens project. And so ours will be more along the lines of probably designating one of our products and putting a requested donation amount on it, and it'll be slightly higher than retail value, but all of the money collected from that particular item, which will probably be a whole cut up chicken, an 8-piece chicken, so all the money collected from those chickens will actually take and donate to a like a children's Christmas gift drive coordinated by law enforcement. Last year we did one for a police force, a local police force across the state line from us. This year I want to do one with the State Highway Patrol here in our state. So that's the plan, but want to get that together. And so that's another aspect of the charitable generosity that I want to mention. Sometimes we're not in a place in life to lead it. Sometimes a project like the shoebox ministry is perfect because somebody else is leading it, setting it up, making the connections, and we, you know, participate in the footwork of gathering the things. Other times we're in a position to actually coordinate something, you know, and step up and try to lead in that regard. So, you know, you'll know where you're at in life if you're in a role where it's a time of life to participate and support somebody else's work, or if it's a time of life where we're being called to lead a work. So pray on it. Again, pray on it. We said earlier, prayer is so important. So that's all I want to say in this show and tell and share Saturday. Just wanted to talk about encouraging generosity, encouraging connectedness within your own household first and foremost. And you know, when you do that, I believe that it cultivates peace, it cultivates positive energy, and it helps us navigate through all of the mess out in the world, you know. So the more we cultivate that focus on, you know, what can we do in this situation that's positive, and how can I give something tangible or just give grace and mercy in this situation. It's hard for us. It's kind of against our human nature. But the more we practice on it, I think it also fortifies us as we encounter the negative energy out in the world. It kind of fortifies us to be able to slough it off. But it also kind of enlightens us to be able to know when there is a lot of negative energy that we can't interface with, to just allow some distance to be there from it, and distance ourselves from the negative so that we can remain positive and go out into the world and do positive things and come back to our households and continue to cultivate peace. So I greatly appreciate y'all joining me for our Saturday show and tell and share. I'm going to shut this one down. I'm going to go take a walk just to take in the fresh air, and we'll be going to Mass this evening, and I hope that you'll join us again back here at Twin Oaks Farm Poultry on YouTube. Thanks, y'all. God bless you.